All right, so we're going to talk about the Golden Globe Awards. They are this weekend. I have some predictions for the movie categories. I'm not as caught up in television, so we're really going to strictly talk movies here. But I need your thoughts, man. What are you thinking about the Golden Globe Awards this weekend? I have some insight as to why my choices are my choices, and I'm getting excited for next weekend because I'm going to the Critics' Choice Awards. Let's go.
Oh, good for you.
We're also going to be looking at the odds in some of these categories, kind of see where people's heads are at right now. But let's start with the one I don't have as much confidence in personally, but I feel pretty good about my prediction. That is El Mal from Amelia Perez. This is the song that's gotten, I'd say, the most accolades down this road. That doesn't include industry voters as much. Admittedly, we're talking mostly critics groups, but Amelia Perez got so many nominations. I feel like it has to win Best Song. It's either going to be Mi Camino or El Mal. I'm going El Mal, but frankly, it's a toss-up. Best Score. I'm going to tip my hand with this answer as to where I think this ceremony, specifically the Globes, is going to go. I feel like these guys are going to be big fans of The Brutalist. It's just that type of movie. Big, grand American epic. There will be blood style. But if you look at the other major competitors in this category, which I believe include Dune Part 2, which isn't getting the Oscar nomination. I think that's going to hurt it, as well as Challengers, which got a few nominations, but overall, not nearly as beloved as a movie like The Brutalist. Also, we can go over to Kalshi, which is a great place to get a feel for where the odds are for all of these competitors, and they kind of agree with me here. Although, they somewhat disagree with me, with Conclave having the second best chance, but The Brutalist, 45% chance. Odds are very good there. If you're going for an upset, Conclave could be the one, but I would actually lean towards Challengers. Reznor and Ross, that score is outstanding. It's won in a couple of places. I personally believe that has the second best chance. Cinematic and box office achievement, come on, we know what this is. This is Wicked, because Wicked got nominations elsewhere. It's got numerous acting noms and screenplay noms, and Chu's gotten in a couple of places. It's got to be Wicked, right? The only other one I could think of is Inside Out 2, and maybe they don't want to reward Wicked if it's getting all of these other awards, but I just don't think that's the case. It's gotta be Wicked. If you look at critics groups, animated feature should be interesting because Flow actually took home numerous awards. I'd say even a little more than Wild Robot at this point. But everywhere else you look, whether it's Kalshi, 74% chance the Wild Robot takes it home. It feels like this movie has been the talk of the town. Has the Globe's body of voters, have they watched Flow? I mean, I know most of them have, but have all of them. And so The Wild Robot just has been that movie the entire year. And I agree with the Kalshi markets. I believe Flow has the second best chance, Inside Out the third best chance, but it's got to be Wild Robot. Best Picture, non-English language. We don't have to spend a lot of time here. I know All We Imagine as Light has gotten some surprising Best Director noms along the way. But Amelia Perez, with all of the nominations and with the love seemingly across the board with the industry and recently the BAFTA shortlist, it's got to be Amelia Perez. And I'm starting to get a little nervous that Amelia Perez could have a shot at Best Picture for the Oscars. I know that's crazy. It sounds crazy. But in reality, it's not. Best Screenplay. This one is fascinating to me because I am seeing almost everyone talk about Anora as your best screenplay winner. And if you look at the odds, Anora with the 67% chance, The Substance right behind it with 11%. But I want to look at Conclave. And think about this for a second. I thought Conclave was going to be the movie that got kind of shut out at the Golden Globes. Turns out it was Sing Sing, which was disappointing. But Conclave and The Brutalist, it feels like they are fighting for most awards won at this year's Golden Globes. And I'm looking for places that Conclave could win. Screenplay kind of jumps out at me, even though I know Anora is a beloved film. But are the Golden Globes voters going to feel the same way as we do about Anora? Well, I would pick The Brutalist personally. I just don't think it has a big shot here. But Conclave at 9%, I feel is extremely low. I feel like this is going to genuinely be a fight between Conclave and Anora. If you want to get risky, go for the underdog here. Conclave could be the choice. I know Anora is the major frontrunner. I'm actually, I think because it's the Golden Globes, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say Conclave gets Best Screenplay, which could spell really good things for this movie going forward. It's a 3 to 4 horse race for Best Picture. Conclave's firmly in that discussion. If anything is going to start to turn the tide, it's got to be Golden Globes. Now, again, My brain's telling me you got to go with Honora, man. That's the front runner. It has been, it will be, and Sean Baker is beloved within the industry. I get that, but with these Golden Globes voters, you never know. And I gotta be a little outlandish with some of my picks. So I'm going the massive underdog here. I'm going Conclave for best screenplay. What have I done? Supporting actor, I mean, it's a 2-horse race technically, but it's really a 1-horse race. If A Real Pain is going to win anything here, I would personally put a little bit of stock into Eisenberg. I think he's got a shot, but it is Kieran Culkin, man. He has been this year's Divine Joy Randolph. This year's I'm going to win it all, other than maybe Clarence Macklin here or there. But guess what? Clarence Macklin didn't get in here, which I still think is ridiculous. But Kieran Culkin, 79% chance right now over on Kalshi. Massive odds. I think they go in his favor every day of the week. This is your winner. Speaking of odds, Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldana, 63% chance to win according to Kalshi. I somewhat agree with that, but at the same time, I'm going to personally bump Ariana Grande up from 32% to maybe like 51-49. I am genuinely in the camp of this could be one of the starting determining factors of what happens at the Oscars. If Zoe Saldana wins here, wins at Critics' Choice, she continues to rack up awards, it's going to go in her favor. But if they split, if Grande, say, wins here, Saldana at Critics' Choice, I personally think Grande could win Critics' Choice, so maybe Saldana wins here. Then it becomes something that's a little bit more talked about. But if you're just asking me, Austin, who gave the better performance here? Who gave the more surprising performance? I'm going to say Ariana Grande. And that's kind of the one that stuck with me the most. Nothing against Margaret Qualley, and nothing against Saldana, who was really good in a movie that I'm just not a big fan of. But Ariana Grande shocked me, surprised me. She has the notoriety to bring an award like this home. And so I think this is an underdog that has a real chance here. And a lot of people are going to fight me on that. I understand. Look at how many nominations Amelia Perez got. And if it's going to win anywhere, this is probably one of its best chances. That said, I think I've got to go Ariana Grande. I genuinely believe that performance in Wicked and this award show could be the start of a run for her, because I ultimately, at this point, I think she wins the Oscar. Now, maybe the industry, and again, I do think the industry completely disagrees with me on Amelia Perez, so that's very possible, obviously a 63% chance, but give me the upset. Give me Ariana Grande. Actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy, Jesse Eisenberg is your front runner here, and what I said earlier, I meant it. Eisenberg's got a really good shot, but I don't want people to overlook Glenn Powell and Hugh Grant, especially Hugh Grant, who's been on a little bit of a surge lately. Now, do I think he has a shot at the Oscar nomination? Small chance, not a big chance. Do I think this run that he's on, very small run, do I think that's a determining factor for something like this? Probably not. But if you look at these odds here, I mean, Glenn Powell kind of started out as the front runner. Eisenberg has since surged, but I just feel like a few too many people are overlooking Hugh Grant, because he's kind of the only guy here who's getting more consistent nominations than an Eisenberg or a Glenn Powell. And if I'm thinking about A Real Pain right now, the movie that has the best chance to get snubbed multiple times at the Oscars, and I know Heretic isn't going to get the nomination, but Heretic was never really going to get the nomination. It was always A Real Pain fighting for that last Oscar spot. At this point, I think A Real Pain's on the outside looking in for Best Picture. I also believe Culkin is almost a lock for supporting actors. So do they want to award this movie twice in the actor category? There's a good chance that they do. But again, it's the Golden Globes. I've got to be a little outlandish with my picks. I'm going to say Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant, and you know, the BAFTA long list. Austin, the BAFTAs love Hugh Grant. Obviously, he's going to make the long list. I get that. But some of these nominations for Grant have been surprising. Because of that, give me Hugh Grant at 20%. I'm going underdogs today, baby. We're going crazy. I'm nervous this is going to bite me in the butt. Actor, motion picture, drama. I am very surprised Timothée Chalamet is down there at a 29% chance. I'm actually a little surprised that Fiennes is only at 9% because, again, Conclave and The Brutalist are these two behemoths that one of them is going to win out ultimately, I believe, and the other one is not. At this point, I'm picking The Brutalist to kind of be that movie that wins out, and because of that, I'm thinking Adrian Brody has the best chance here. I kind of agree with that 58% chance. That being said, I'd put Chalamet up there. Chalamet has a really good shot. A Complete Unknown is racking up nominations. Talking picture, talking Chalamet, he is right there with Adrian Brody. And so this is much tighter than it seems on its surface. And if things start to shift as we're going, this could easily shift into Chalamet's favor. But because I do think The Brutalist is going to perform well here, which will ultimately perform well at the Oscars, because right now that's my pick for the movie that's going to start to pick up steam. Obviously, it's got to start somewhere. Why not here? The Brutalist picks up steam beginning on Sunday, and that's why Adrian Brody takes this award home. Do I feel great about this? No. But I'm not picking the underdog this time. I'm picking the favorite. Actress in a musical or comedy. Let's check out the Kalshi odds. This is shocking for me because I personally would say Demi Moore has the second best chance. A shot that is admittedly nowhere near as great as Mikey Madison's. 72% chance to win is high, but I don't necessarily disagree with that because Honora has been performing amazingly. And critics groups, I think almost everywhere, have picked her to win Best Actress, not just musical or comedy. So far and away front runner. I agree with that. She's going to take this award home, but I would personally put Demi Moore up there a bit higher. Carla Sofia Gascon, that makes sense because of how well Amelia Perez did with the nomination, but don't sleep on Demi Moore as kind of like this not going to happen, but if something crazy did go down, it slides into her favor. But come on, it's got to be Mikey Madison. There's no way this is the one that's going to be the crazy Golden Globes win. No, she's won too many awards for that to happen. Right? All right. I'm stuck. I don't know what's going on because I was so confident in Angelina Jolie and then Fernanda Torres right behind her. And then the BAFTA long list comes out. Torres is nowhere to be found. Jolie is nowhere to be found. So I'm sitting here going, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl? Like, this feels like a very Globes choice to pick Nicole Kidman. But Angelina Jolie, out of all of these, she still has the best chance at the Oscar nomination. Now, am I fully confident she's going to get that now? No, I was. She was my number 3 in my Oscar picks. She's not my number 3 anymore because she didn't get long listed at the BAFTAs. That's a big deal. But if you look at this category, it's a bunch of people who gave great performances, but none of them really have a shot at the Oscar nomination except for Torres and Jolie. Neither got long listed at the BAFTAs. Which one do I think the Golden Globes is going to lean towards? That's the bigger name. That's Angelina Jolie, who gave a magnificent performance. But that's a movie that's not, Maria's a film that's not hitting with a lot of people. I enjoyed it personally. So I'm going to go with the odds here. A 55% chance over on Kalshi that Angelina Jolie gets it done. Nicole Kidman in second. I'm not going to fight that because there is a shot. Baby Girl kind of has this surge. But this isn't a category where they're all going to be fighting for that Oscar nomination. This is just kind of, you got to shoot your shot here. I'm shooting my shot towards Angelina Jolie. So Angelina, call me. Don't tell my wife. All right, look, this year is tough because there are so many movies that could either clean up or the love could be spread and shared. And I'm going to call my shot here. I'm going to say The Brutalist is the movie that does the best. Maybe that's Amelia Perez. Maybe I'm crazy. But if we look at the odds over on Kalshi, 63% chance that Brady Corbet takes it home. Sean Baker in second. Corley from The Substance in third. I think that is pretty awesome. But I don't want to throw anyone else out here, including Jacques Audiard from Amelia Perez. Man, if he takes home director, oh my goodness. If you're going to go for a sleeper here, play it safe. Sean Baker's where it's at. If Sean Baker gets this, and Honora does well in other places that maybe I don't expect it to do well in, screenplay, and here's where the director's screenplay thing could be split, right? If Honora does win screenplay, then it's almost like you've got to give Best Director to someone else. So maybe I should have picked Honora for screenplay. But again, I think The Brutalist has a good day here, a better day than Honora personally, and so I'm going to go Brady Corbet. I kind of agree with that 60-ish% chance that he takes home the victory here, and maybe we're starting to get some momentum for who the heck is going to win director at the Oscars. Because at this point, I have no clue. All right, Best Picture, musical or comedy, it has to be Honora right? Does that mean, once again, going back to screenplay, does that mean Anora's going to win screenplay? Yeah, again, I'm starting to kind of regret that choice, but I'm sticking to my guns. 61% chance for Anora here. I've been trending in the right direction, on top pretty much the entirety of the time. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I would have said The Substance or Wicked had the next best chance, but it's got to be Amelia Perez. And so a 27% chance, I do agree with that. I think if anything comes in and steals the victory out from under Anora's nose and causes Oscar chaos, because if Amelia Perez wins here, that would absolutely be chaos. I know it's a different body of voters, but we're talking, how much does the industry love Amelia Perez compared to most other people? Compared to the larger groups of people that just don't like it as much. Even critics don't like it as much. And so I'm looking at Amelia Perez here, and they're playing spoiler. This movie is playing spoiler. It could win in multiple places and cause an insane amount of chaos for the Oscars, even for other award shows as well. The BAFTAs, which just released those long lists and across-the-board nominations. So if you're going to go gutsy, go with Amelia Perez. If you're going to play it safe like I am, I'm going to say Anora. Mikey Madison, Anora. I do believe Anora does very well on Sunday, but do I believe it does as well as The Brutalist, which could easily be Conclave? Remember when I say this, okay? It's either going to be Conclave or The Brutalist that starts to rack up these awards, and you're starting to lean in that direction at this show. If you're looking at the odds here, all of the other films, Nickel Boys, Gladiator 2, Dune Part 2, such a small percentage, I mean, most of them, a 1% chance or less to win this award. It's between Conclave and The Brutalist. The odds are very much in The Brutalist's favor, but a lot of this is just trying to gauge where they are at. Their heads could absolutely be in the Conclave camp. I personally believe it is The Brutalist that's going to do very well on Sunday, but I have been shocked before. The Golden Globes have shocked me before, baffled me even, and I wouldn't be surprised if things start to shift in Conclave's direction. Now at 27 cents a share, is it worth it to try to play spoiler, pick the underdog there? Maybe. For some people, I just feel really good about The Brutalist. I feel good about Brady Corbet. I feel really good about Adrian Brody. But if Chalamet comes in, spoils that, Sean Baker comes in, spoils that, then I could be kind of scrambling by the time we get to the end of Sunday's awards show. And so this one's tough, man. This is one of the toughest Golden Globes years I can remember covering. And I need to know, where am I wrong? Because I'm going to be wrong. I felt a lot more confident in my Critics' Choice picks compared to my Golden Globes picks because I know where critics' heads are at. I just don't know, specifically Globes voters, but really where the industry's head is at right now. But we'll find out. We'll find out on Sunday, so we will see. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd love to know where your heads are at. Obviously, I'm going to be covering the Globes on Sunday. Next week for the Critics' Choice, I'm going to have my predictions, but I'm going to be there. So I need to know what kind of video you all want from me from the Critics' Choice. Do you want a vlog? Do you want me to talk to celebrities? I'll do whatever you want. Be sure to go over to Kalshi Markets. Check out the odds, how they are shifting on a daily basis for these award shows, not just the Globes. I'll see you soon.